call the meeting to order. We have a roll call.
Councilmember Shanta? Here. Councilmember Chrysler?
Here.
Councilmember Craig?
Here.
Mayor Deutsch?
Here.
And please roll up your joints.
He'll be here in a minute.
That's
He's on his way.
Thank you.
Join us all in flag salute, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the October 4th agenda today. I make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agenda from October 4th.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's approved 4-0. Okay, next on our list, approval of the minutes. We have August 29th and September 6th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from both August 29th and September 6th.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved 4-0.
You got no agenda?
And, yeah, here we go. I'm ready with it. I got mine ready.
Oh, you do? Thank you.
Okay, so first thing on the agenda then is our presentation, and this is from Katie O'Grady, and it's presentation Little Free Library.
Hello. My name is Kate O'Grady, and I'm with the Dunsmuir Rotary Club, and I'm, sorry.
She says she's Katie O'Grady from the Rotary Club. That's our president.
Okay, yeah, that part too.
We're going to have to deal with the train.
Hello.
There we go.
So once again, my name is Katie. I'm with the Dunsmuir Rotary Club, and I'm here today to talk to you about a project that our group is adopting. It's called Little Free Library. And most people have heard of Little Free Library. There's a little packet in your packets. There should be a picture of a couple brochures that talks a little bit about it. I'm going to show a 10-minute video that I think really showcases all the benefits of having a Little Free Library in our community. But before I do that, I would like to just give you a little brief history about Little Free Library. It started in 2009 in Hudson, Wisconsin, in a man's front yard. His name was Ted Bowl. He just so happened to be in the Rotary Club there. And in memory of his mother, who had passed away, he built what looked like a big birdhouse or a one-room schoolhouse in her honor and filled it with books because she was an avid reader. Well, within just a short time, it really caught on, and a lot of people adopted the same concept, and there were all kinds of little libraries showing up. So in 2012, it became a 501c3. They had the goal of building 2,510 Little Free Libraries, which was the amount of libraries that Andrew Carnegie built during his lifetime. And so fast forward to 2018, there's 60,000 Little Free Libraries in the United States and around the world, and I hope we can have one in our community too. So I'd like to show you this little video. It actually is from Surrey, British Columbia, but I think it could be really in any town. So on that note, we can just watch that. Should I turn the lights off?
That's ingenuity.
What the library is all about is inspiring people to build a better future. And the Little Free Library program is a way that we can inspire the community to build within their own community and help out others on their way to a better future.
So it's a simple thing that everyone can either reach out and take a book, or they can contribute and donate one as well. So on both levels, there's a simple way that people can choose to get engaged.
It's that kind of spirit, bringing people together to build a barn. Well, let's build a Little Free Library.
The more people are engaged in their own neighborhoods and in their own communities, the stronger the communities become. And so this community is really in need of these kinds of projects that can inspire conversation. It can welcome people in a way that may be very new to them culturally. It can open up a connection with them to the Surrey Public Library, which can be such an amazing resource for newcomers. But as well, it can also support people and residents who have lived here for a long time, who may be feeling like their communities are changing faster than they're able to accommodate.
I'm so looking looking forward to seeing the decorating that's going to occur on these. And it is that whole idea of sharing and bringing people's talents out in the community and letting them show off.
Excited to have the Little Free Library project here at Bridgeview. Because Bridgeview itself is really unique, we wanted to sort of bring that and tie that into our Little Free Library. And every person's thumbprint is unique. And so we wanted to have each member of the community, any residents from Bridgeview, be able to come and give a thumbprint as a part of the decoration on the outside of our library. There aren't really a lot of amenities down here. So anytime we have an opportunity to bring something down to Bridgeview that the community doesn't have as close access to, we're really excited about it.
The significance for this particular project is just that it's going to be placed by Boundary Park Pond. We thought that we would be inspired by nature and kind of the natural setting that exists there. So we thought we would try to bring in just natural imagery and maybe some nice quotes related to reading and nature. The benefit of this project for this neighborhood especially would just be access to interesting literature and books and any reading material. Just improves a sense of community, nurtures and fosters imagination, inquisitiveness, and just general interest in reading.
This is a great opportunity for Keys because we have marginalized population and their routine might not be to go to the library or to have that accessibility with books, and so we wanted to sort of bring that to home because this is where their home is.
People who may feel ostracized in society and may not feel comfortable going to a conventional library, so this gives them the opportunity and accessibility of accessing books in an environment that they're comfortable in.
This process of decorating has been conjured by them, so they come up with images, they tell us what they want on the Little Free Library, and every week it changes. So it's been really great just to bring it to light and to see what's going to come of it, because we've just let our members have a free-for-all at it and just how they want it, so they have a sense of empowerment.
And not only be empowered, but be involved in it, like, so they're the one who built this library.
The plans are to help to end that stigma of literacy issues. We find that a lot of our children, by the time they hit grade 4, aren't meeting the criteria for math and reading skills. So enhancing their literacy component in the early stages of life, from 0 to 6, would be a great benefit for our families.
Once the project was put onto my lap, then I just took it upon myself to get the youth together to finish off the project, and also just to see how excited they are with developing the concept and making it a reality.
They feel connected to it, that then they can promote it within the community and to their friends, and it becomes more of a community-driven project than just a youth-based project. So that's my hopes.
The Vancouver Foundation was to help expand the library's role in building community and increasing civic engagement. And I'm pretty sure that this little project is going to do exactly that. That'll generate a lot of interest in the community, and we'll see a nice proliferation of little free libraries all around the city.
3, 2, 1, go!
Great community building experience. I filled the little library on Thanksgiving weekend with my own books from home, and by midweek that week all the books had turned over and people were stopping, taking pictures, connecting at the library. So that's exactly what we envisioned for it. So it was great to see that.
I have a neighbor that saw it, and she went home and got some children's books, and she was putting them in the box when a lady with a stroller came along and was very excited and took the children's books home.
When I first went by, it made me feel really kind of pleased and happy, and I checked the books out, and I thought, well, when I come back, I'll pick a book, and I did.
It's actually quite exhilarating. Because the community's here. They're here to support us, and it just feels really great that people understand what it is we're trying to do.
part of the Little Free Library has been we have a evening distribution for clients who are either working or in school with young children. And when those families come, it's always great to see those young children go to the Little Free Library and say, "Oh, Mommy, I want that book," or "Daddy, that's the book I've been looking for." So that, I think, is the best part, is to see those the access to those books.
Well, the kids are really enjoying it. They love it. The first day we had it up, we put books in it right away, and they were opening up the door and grabbing those books out.
My wish for the Little Free Libraries is that these become commonplace, that they open up the creativity and imagination of residents to understand the importance and value of connecting through books to each other.
I think the biggest thing would be for it to motivate somebody to move forward or make a positive change in their life.
Maybe a book here will inspire them to do that, whether it is all the books that we're going to be bringing or books that they are going to be asking for and requesting for, and those books may be the ones that will help them move forward in life.
My personal ultimate wish, it would be to have an all Aboriginal library. So with all Aboriginal books that children can come, children, youth, and adults can come and look and see what kind of books that are out there, and maybe even open their minds to maybe writing their own book or becoming a journalist or something, just to give them something, a bigger picture in life of what they can achieve.
I'd love to keep it and maybe expand it, get more a wider variety of books, especially for young children. We have a new seniors program as well, so maybe getting some books for seniors and really classic literature, and just kind of exposing our clients to literature and books and seeing the smiles on their faces. I think it's a really good thing.
The community really embraces it, that the kids will continue to take out books, and that some of the older adults in the community will use it too, and it not just be for the kids and youth here.
They're already talking about expanding it, so that's that's pretty amazing. They want to make another lower level for the children to be able to access easier.
Free Library project has been a great one to work on. Not only are we able to spread the word about libraries and promote literacy and reading, we've been able to take the library to where people are. They could be going out for a walk, or dropping by the community center for a class, or even accessing community or agency services. So we've been able to work with community partners, and that means we've either been able to forge a stronger relationship with existing partners or build new ones. A huge thank you to everyone who's made the Little Free Libraries possible, and we look forward to more of them in the future.
Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. As you can see up there at the end, it talked about a steward of the Little Free Library. That would be the Rotary Club. So as you can see, Little Free Libraries, they're grassroots, they're community-oriented, and really self-sustaining for the most part. So right now, I would just like to take a minute to thank my friend, my fellow Rotarian, I'm going to get choked up, and the builder of Dunsmuir's first Little Free Library, Big Dave.
Before you start, I just want to point out to everybody that Katie says she's just with Rotary, but she's actually the president this year, and this is her private dream, is to bring this alive in Dunsmuir for her year as the president of the Rotary. I just wanted to make it clear.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it is.
So, before we take it down, there's a couple things. It was raining. I couldn't get the glass in because I wasn't going to break everything out in the rain and set up.
It's going to be plexiglass.
So it'll be plexiglass. And then another part was, this is a wheelchair to show you that I made it ADA compliant, and I made it to last about 50 years.
Is that beautiful? Signifies that it's an official Little Free Library. There's lots of them around that are not official.
And we're going to get a little round rotary.
And this is our number here, and we're going to put the rotary symbol. And we will take care of the Little Free Library. We will make sure it's maintained, that the books, that there's a lot of books inside. each, I'll make sure of that. And we're hoping that this is just the first of many Little Free Libraries in Dunsmuir. I can see one in the community garden, I can see one botanical gardens, the children's park, even private businesses. So
They were talking about decorating them, and we were thinking that the next one, maybe at Botanical Gardens with some rocks and some bark, you know, and we kind of want to make them all fit in. This one's bigger. This is the first one. Can I jump in with you now?
Yes.
What we are asking from the Rotary is that at the next city council meeting, could it be placed on the agenda? We'd like to, for your approval, we'd like to place this on Pine Street. We'd like to place it, I was looking at it tonight, I'd like to place it on the inside of the tree by the trash can. So if you're sitting on the park, the benches, you can listen to the fountain. Oh, you might want to go over and get a book. You could read a book. People could see it from the Cornerstone. People could see it from the Pizza Factory. So it'll be on a permanent stand. If there's anything that we would need to do to make it more compliant, we would be willing. The idea is to have 6 of them total, and we want to have little pieces of paper on the side. What would you like here? You want Dr. Seuss books? Do you want
a guest
history?
book inside is what we'll do, a guest book.
The little thing.
People sign and.
Yeah, and where were you from? You know, I was here from Ontario, Canada. I got me a book. Thank you very much. It's a way of, you know, kind of keeping track and bragging.
Once you're chartered, you're on a map. So if people want to look for a Little Free Library in a particular neighborhood, we would be on that map.
So we would.
Can I ask what you're chartered?
Yes. Once it's placed, then I turn the number in and we're official.
How many did you say? 30,000?
60,000.
And 1. That's what we're hoping. We'll supply all the labor and the materials. We'll work with city staff as far as the placement. I think this is a good thing. I totally support her. Didn't mean to step on your toes, but we want to get it in place. So at the next meeting, we could talk about and get it get it going and get it out there.
Yes.
The only class that she didn't do good in school was public speaking, so I think she did a pretty good job of that.
Anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay.
I would say that since this is not on this agenda officially as an action item, that if anyone would like to make comments about this during the public comment section, that would be perfectly fine. If not, we'll wait for a future agenda. Is that right?
I'm not sure if you wanted to get consensus from the council about bringing it back to the city council. And Arlene's here also, and a lot of the things that Big Dave, Councilmember Kaiser mentioned were some of the things that our planner and I talked about, making sure it fits, the surrounding areas, ADA accessibility, safety. So there are things that we would like Big Dave said, is to work with the staff, a representative, probably Katie, to work with staff to bring together a staff report on what would be the things that would need to happen to make a recommendation to the city council.
I understand. So this was just they wanted to get the ball rolling one way or another. I know they tried to trap you and Arlene at a Rotary meeting last week or so. So, yeah, I understand. So is that fine with you, Mr. Kaiser?
Got
any comments from the
That's
council?
fine. We'd be glad.
I have a comment.
Please, there's our librarian right there.
Karen O'Quinn, Dunsmuir Library. I just wanted to say that we would like to donate books that people have donated to us to help fill up your Little Free Library. So we can be in touch and you can let me know children's books, adult books, home repair books, whatever. The more the better. And I really think this is a great idea. I would like to see Little Free Libraries away from the Dunsmuir Library on the outskirts, where people who have a hard time getting to our public library downtown have easier access to books. So you might consider that as well.
Well, Karen, when I saw you stand up there, in fact, while I was listening to the presentation, I was wondering whether you're going to stand up and get fisticuffs because of the competition. It's nice to see the embracing of the concept.
Oh, not at all. But the more the better is my attitude. The more people that have access to reading material, the better it is.
Great, thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Any other comments before we move on? One bad thing about doing it this way. Let's see. Committee reports. Yeah, committee reports. Okay, so first one, economic development and tourism. We had planned on having a meeting and we haven't had a chance to with the craziness of the fire. So we have Richard here and Mark, and Josh. Do we want to pick a time or just say we'll pick a time? And what are we going to have on the agenda?
We can, Julie, if you can make a note to bring up an agenda from the past and send it out to the committee members for input and possible dates. We'll get started with that.
Yeah, and I know that one thing that I really do want to bring back and working with Richard to come up with a date when he can bring the folks from down south that have been coming up with the concept of the industrial park. It would be nice to be able to get that rolling with that, involved with that.
Could you make a note on the agenda to have the airport industrial park? Thanks, Jerry.
No, the agenda? Yeah, I can't get up on my phone right now, sorry. Okay, next, finance.
Has not met.
Okay. Public facilities haven't met, I'm assuming nobody met on public facilities. Airport, Mr. Brannigan.
There is an airport meeting scheduled for, I believe it's next Wednesday. And that's at 12 o'clock. Depending on weather, it's either going to be here or over at the chamber.
And that's significant because of the fact that we're getting ready to take the next step forward, and that's where they're going to be briefing us on, is that right?
Yeah, we're looking at a couple things. One is the consultant that's working on the airport layout plan will be attending via phone, and will be giving an update of where they're at. They're at the final stages of finishing the airport layout plan. And also the consultants that are going to be doing the design work for the runway replacement are expected to be here as well.
Okay, good. Next, we have emergency plan task force.
We probably won't meet until we hear or get the sun result back from the mitigation.
Okay, good, thank you. Veterans Memorial. We do want to move on that soon, but we haven't had a meeting. But I know that I think we're moving towards the idea of, as we said once before, putting in a memorial at the end down here by where the flagpole is. And so we want to call a meeting in the near future to try and get some movement on that. Okay. Mossbury Trail, anything going on? What's the latest with them?
We have had the high rail trip postponed once again. No new information since the last meeting.
Okay. Beautification, I understand that met last night, is that right?
It did, but I missed the meeting. Tim is here.
Oh, Tim's here. Hi, Tim. Yes. Would you like to report, please?
So, yes, we did have a meeting yesterday. I think it'll be our last meeting, probably till spring. There's not a whole lot going on with benches and flowers right now, Doris. Just a couple points from the meeting. You will be hearing from Gene and Nyla Lakowitz, who have a proposal for placing statues on the bulb outs in front of the California Theater, and I'm going to kind of defer to them on the details of that project. One thing that came out of the meeting that I thought was interesting on the subject of Centennial Plaza is, as I understand it, the Public Works Department is prepared to reconfigure the benches at Centennial Plaza so they actually face each other. This has been something that's been, talked about for quite a while. Mark's looking at me like, what's going on here?
I've heard talk about it, but I haven't.
Well, I'm just saying that's what I understood. Correct, Mari, coming out of the meeting?
Agreed. Bill has agreed. He's just never heard from Bob or,
Yeah, the way it was expressed.
The decision was made a long time ago that they would help. The city would help to the benches.
I've heard about it.
Pretty strange.
Yeah.
They don't even face each other, so they would
Yeah.
talk to them, and they were just going to reposition it not put them back down. That was months
So-
ago.
Want to bring that up to another meeting?
I'll ask Bill what's
Okay.
status.
Well, nothing, because he wasn't approached
Well,
by Bob. Bob was going to use somebody else.
perhaps Mark can, approach him.
I don't know much about it. Who's the lead with the beautification committee? If they can reach out to Bill.
Well, okay, so we have Bob Olive, whom you know, Reverend Bob, right? Who's been taking the lead on the improvements on the plaza. And he had been, my understanding, he'd been waiting for some construction guys to do this bench thing. And I think it was Mari that brought up at our meeting yesterday that Bill at Public Works was willing to actually, without having to wait for somebody else to do it, that Public Works could do it. That's what I heard at the meeting. So it sounds like somebody just, maybe perhaps you, needs to talk to Bill about doing it.
I'll send an email to Bill to look into it.
Okay, good. So, other than that, let's see. I will be submitting my resignation from the Beautification Committee by the end of this month. I think we've made some modest contributions to our downtown, but I feel I've accomplished about as much as I can, given the current structure and parameters of the committee. And I do have some ideas about how it might be reorganized. And I will share those ideas with the new council when it's seated December or whenever that is. January?
December would be
December, okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time for announcements and public comment. It's time for anyone with a public comment to stand at the podium. I'm opening the podium to public comments.
We skipped one committee, the Cannabis Task Force.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did, didn't I? I'm sorry. Cannabis Task Force.
Nothing to report other than that we received the draft ordinance, zoning ordinance from Mr. Kenny's office, and we'll be reviewing it Tuesday? Tuesday next week.
Good.
At what time?
5:30.
5:30 right here?
Right here.
We didn't receive back the applications from his office, though.
He didn't, I don't think he reviewed the applications were done by Craig Kay, just converted the Shasta Lake into.
My understanding was that Mr. Kenny's office was reviewing those as well to get back to us. That's what John told me. But
I'll look into it.
Okay, anyhow, it's not on our agenda for next Tuesday, but.
Okay, sorry about that. So next Tuesday, we'll be having the next meeting, and that would be able to start us on the process of adopting the ordinance, is that right?
It'll be
After the review? Oh, Planning Commission first?
Well, depending on if the Cannabis Task Force gets through and agrees with and makes recommendations at that meeting to go to the Planning Commission. So there may be that meeting, and they take 2 meetings, we'll do this to be determined.
But just to give everyone out there a sense that there is some path forward.
It's back on track.
There's some light at the end of the tunnel.
And just to be clear, the task force already spent months working through creating the zoning ordinance. We gave it to Mr. Kenny to write into an ordinance form for us, and that's what's being returned back. So as long as there aren't any changes that the committee is unaware of or wouldn't want to approve, the committee's already made its recommendation in the form of drafting a motion to draft the ordinance. It should at this point be a pretty cursory review of the ordinance and then on to the Planning Commission.
And even before you go to the Planning Commission, if you want to make little changes that you all agree on.
Certainly, of course.
Yeah. So I understand. Okay.
And John Kenny will be at the meeting.
Okay, great.
To reiterate, that was Tuesday, 5:30?
Yes.
Work meeting, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, open the podium for public comment.
I want to mention that our Dunsmuir Library is going to have a City Council Candidates Forum Wednesday, October 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. So, and our librarian Karen O'Quinn will be the moderator for it. So,
okay, thank you.
I want to let you know that.
Thank you. Richard, did you have something to announce about the chamber?
You know, we were going to have a candidate forum also on the same day, but I think we're going to have to change that. We originally had it on the 12th, and we're not sure if that's going to change or not. So hopefully we'll keep it on the 12th at this point, but we're not sure the location. We were talking about the high school or the community center.
Okay, so for the folks out there that may not be aware, we're having our biannual elections coming up. 3 seats are open, and there will be a meet and greet with the chamber, I believe, and mixer kind of, and then also there will be a forum, I guess, both with the library and with the chamber. Okay, anything else from the public? I'll close the podium to the public, and we go on then to comments from the council. Thank you, Tim. Starting with Mr. Craig.
Well, I was just going to, before Tim goes, thank you for starting with me. I just wanted to say thank you for your service on the beautification.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
You know, he hasn't officially resigned yet. Thank you, Tim. Tim always did a really great job chairing those meetings, so I want to say thank you to him. The only thing that I have on my notes here is that one of our committees, or it's not a committee, but it's an assignment, I guess. One of the things that I have been doing the last couple of years has been to be the representative for the IRWIM, which is the Integrated Regional Water Management Group, which has just finally gotten its plan update completed in draft form, and so the public comment period is like, I think it's 30 days, just opened. So if you want to review that plan during the public comment period, you can view the plan at uppersacirwm.org. That's the multi-jurisdictional cities and tribes and NGOs all getting together to basically be good stewards of water and water issues in our region. The city has been the beneficiary of some grants in the past via that source. We got $1.2 million of water mains replaced a few years ago as part of our participation in that project, or in that group, in submitting projects through base engineering and all that. You've all heard me talk about this before. Anyhow, since I will be on the council anymore after December, we should get somebody to take over that assignment and
I thought
serve.
Mark was on it, weren't you?
No.
Mark has been, I think, to a meeting or two.
I've been to one.
Okay.
And I think Blake's been to one as well.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a council person. It could totally be Blake if Blake wants to do it. He's a good person to do it.
Yeah, he is.
If you want to make Blake
right
do
in with
something.
that group of people.
Why are you talking about?
You do good there.
I think Blake would do a good job too.
You would do a great job.
But it's not an insignificant amount of work. You do have to, it's more about networking and getting to know the people and helping run those meetings. I'm currently the chair of the working group, which is called the RWAG, the Regional Water Action Group. So I'll need to be stepping down from that. My guess is a representative from either Mount Shasta or maybe McLeod or something. Generally a city is the person who is the chair.
It's just Siskiyou County?
Yeah, it's just South Siskiyou County, really. It's the, yeah.
I mean, it has all the Indians, it has trout unlimited, it has a variety of people that are interested in water, or affected.
And because of that, there's oftentimes a lot of differing opinions about what people should be doing. Anyhow, the update on the project is that the plan has been updated. Basically, by law, we have to update the plan every 5 years or something like that. And so the plan was this, 100-page document or something that they, before my time came, developed, and that took 2 years to just develop the plan. And now it's been 5 years, so they had to update the plan. And there were climate change requirements, and so they had to hire consultants to just execute the updating of the plan. Anyhow, that's done. The draft is available for review on the website, and so because once we adopt that plan, then the city can actually submit projects to be a part of the new plan and hopefully have them funded through Prop 1, the water bond that was passed a few years ago. So the general thinking over the last few years was that that was a good opportunity to get the water tank that's needed, which is about a $3 million project on its own, I think, 2.9 million. That project, according to PACE and according to all the experts, would probably score very high in the process to score projects. It's unclear as to how much you'd actually get, maybe all of it, maybe some of it, and you have to work with all of those other players, NGOs, tribes, who are all submitting their projects to build consensus for why your project should get funded. So, like I said, that's the politicking, networking that has to happen. So, I think Blake would do a good job. But we'll let him express some interest or not. But something to be thinking about for the next couple of months. There's a meeting coming up in October, so I'll probably go to that one, but that'll probably be my last one. Now that the plan is getting adopted again, the meetings will probably be every quarter or maybe every other month, but there's been 6 or 8 months at a time where there's no meetings because...
Just take Blake with you.
Yeah, exactly. So in October, if Blake will go with me and it shows interest, then he might be the person. If not, then one of the 4 of you or someone else will probably need to do that. Or we'll just keep sending Mark when you can't go. Okay, that's all for me.
Mr. Spurlock, welcome.
Thank you. The only update that I have or announcement is that, first off, question, who's excited for rain?
Yeah.
So that's good.
I'll move so.
Yeah, so.
Do we have 100%?
You know, I haven't checked today, so I'm not too sure where it's at. But I know it's winding down and things look good then.
We'll be hanging a flag up the freeway at 100%.
Yeah. This week I actually had a great experience. The county got a grant for some training for some of the county officials for incident command system, which provided some good training on how those officials from the county level sit in with emergency operations that happen. And I just want to kind of pass that on to everyone, is that you can get these same classes through FEMA, ICS 100 and 700 class. It's an hour per class available online. They're free, but it helps kind of just lay out the structuring on, okay, if we have an emergency that happens, you know, where do you, or I should say myself as an elected official, fit in, you know, with emergency responders, incident commanders and stuff like that. So I would encourage everyone on the council to take the ICS 100 and 700 class. At the end of the month, it sounds like the county is putting on another training specifically for officials to kind of help give an insight there. That's the ICS 403 class. That one, I believe, is free as well. It's a 2-day course. I think there's $20 if you want to get a certificate out of it. You probably don't need them, but I collect certificates, so I have to have those for the fire department. But yeah, I can send more information to that to Mark to distribute for the city council. Yeah, and this is the nice thing about this is this is all incident structuring that came out of 9/11, the attack that happened, and so it's something that's been adopted across the nation, and I know that having some of this training will be advantageous for the city as well because it qualifies us for some other help for FEMA too. So there's kind of a few reasons why it might be good to have, other than just the knowledge. And, you know, we're going out of fire season now, but come winter time when we get the rain, we might go in the flooding, and with burn scars, with no trees holding the dirt there, we might have landslides, which might lead to other emergencies as well. But I would encourage that, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kaiser.
I really can't believe that you jumped in on this one, but
Oh, yes.
okay, on the 9th, the firemen's open house at the fire station here. I guess there's dinner and a bunch of things going to be happening, so I encourage you to come down. We're going to set up a thing for donations at this event for the flagpole and the monument. It's a way to contribute to all the firefighters to help get something done for in front of the fire station. So it's a twofer. Okay, let me start at the top. Tomorrow night is our high school homecoming. Yeah, go Tigers. And then
I'm sorry. One small thing is that we actually have 2 nights planned for the open house.
Well, come on, I was hoping somebody said something.
Yeah, no, I apologize.
It's just for luck, enlighten
A little extra information. I apologize.
Come on.
October 9th is at the Castella station, and that's from 5 to 7. And then the 10th is here at the Dunsmuir station, 5 to 7. But we'll be giving tours. There's going to be fire safety information for people with some of the officials from CAL FIRE and the Forest Service as well. Demos and other stuff for if you bring your kids, and we're cooking up some hot dogs as well. So, I believe those are free of charge.
But it's a way to come down and, you know, hug a firefighter, man, make them feel good, see something.
Yeah, the 9th is Castella Station, the 10th
10th is here, okay?
Apologies again.
That's all right. Again, back to tomorrow night, the homecoming for the football game. Hope it ain't gonna rain. We had a business that closed their doors, Lennon's Junction. I just wanted to do a shout out, thank them for a couple of good years and a lot of memories, and they were really nice. They're going to be missed.
And wish them well.
And we wish them well. Saturday, river cleanup, 9 o'clock, meet in the ballpark, get signed up. If it's raining though, I don't think they're going to have it. I don't think it would be safe. So it all depends on the weather there, but I cordially invite you to come out and just for a couple hours. The more people, the cleaner the river gets, and it lasts. It's just good for it's our town, man. Please come out and help us. Next Thursday is a neighborhood watch, right here at 6 o'clock. I'm hoping that a couple of us can get together and coordinate a potluck dinner for that one. And we had Jackson Canyon this weekend. I want to thank everybody that participated. That was a pretty good turnout. What do I have Wednesday, October 17th, 16th, 11th? Oh yeah, that's the meet and greet. That was another thing. So that's all I have. Again, I want to push the library idea. I hope council moves forward on this and let's get this thing up. We was kind of hoping that we could get it up in the month of October because and we could stick a little cancer thing on the side. So, and it's good. It's just not the kids that need it. There's some adults that could use some books. So that's all I got, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Shanta?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, thank you. Mr. City Manager? Do we want to ask the Finance Director if he has anything to say? Finance Director, do you have anything to say?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
I'll help him with we have our auditor on site, so he's been kind of locked down pretty tight this weekend, pulling documents, running reports, and working with the auditor. And it's exciting to see the teamwork. They're doing very well together.
Thank you.
And one last thing, I posted on the city's website today a new application form for TUT fund request for next fiscal year. So anybody that's out there that has a project or a service request for next budget year, go ahead and you can go on our website, get the form, fill it out, and be as complete as possible. It's very competitive, so really do your best.
Thank
That's
you.
all.
Deputy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, I thought I'd introduce myself because I know that not everyone here knows me. My name is John Zook, Z-O-O-K. I've worked with the Sheriff's Department for about 10 years, all over the county. I've been Doris, Happy Camp, Wairika, Montague, all over the place. Most recently, Happy Camp, and then I transferred down here in July. So that's a good thing because I grew up in Mount Shasta. This is where I want to be. Like I said, I've been on for about 10 years. I'm happy to be here. Deputy Wetstein was unavailable tonight, so I'm filling in for him. And he's asking that I report on the August stats. The September stats are not in yet. So for Dunsmuir patrol hours, we have 453.5 hours in August. Total calls, including self-initiated calls, traffic stops, being proactive and finding your own stuff, 150 calls. We pulled 16 total cases with 6 traffic stops, 10 citations, 3 arrests. One of those arrests was a felony arrest, and we had 2 misdemeanor arrests. I do not have a stat on the amount of security checks, but I know that it was very high. We were checking both schools every night with the Delta fire and Hearst fires going on. So, and I know it's going to be even way higher stats for September based on everything that was going on. So,
Great, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Glad to have you back. Be safe.
Thank you.
From my standpoint, oh, that's right, you did have one more.
Mr. Mayor, I have one more thing. On Thursday, October 11th, from noon to 2, they got a grand opening. It's a grand reopening for the Collier's Interpretive Center. You loving me now? I'm throwing the pitch out there for you. Of course, we invite you guys to go up and check it out. They've got, seems like the whole new facility's been upgraded. This is where it's like an information place when you pull in. They're going to tell you all about Dunsmuir and all the areas and things. So we have people that go up and sit there, and when people come in, they tell them. So I know this for a fact. So I cordially invite you to go up and check them out Thursday, October 11th at noon. And this is just on the other side of Wairika, right?
Yep.
All right. Go.
Okay, from my standpoint, first thing I'd like to bring up is obviously the fires and everything we've gone through, and I guess we're a seasoned community now. There's a really good article out, I understand. What's the woman's name who wrote it?
Chris.
Anyway, there's a good article that kind of explains and goes through what it was like for people living in Dunsmuir to be under that period of time where we didn't know what would happen and we were kind of fight and flight and not sure where to go. So I just want to say that I'm glad that I looked around and saw a community that came together and supported each other. And to honor that and to honor all the people that have helped make that possible, all the firefighters. We're working with the Rotary Club, and we're looking, I believe it's October 27th, of having a free dinner for the whole community celebrating the firefighters. We want to, I think that's the right date. Don't hold me to it, I'll find out, but I believe that's the right date. But one of the things that I was asked to do is ask the city manager to talk with our fire chief and see if we could identify some significant number of individuals that were on the fire that did something special that we could honor individually. But above and beyond that, the firefighters in general will have a free dinner for themselves and for their family, and that's one of the ways that I think we as a community can get together and hug each other after what we've been through and thank the people that helped us get through. And so one way or the other we'll have that, and we'll work on having an opportunity for the community to thank and put things to close. Yes, Richard?
That was Christine Russell.
Christine Russell, thank you.
And she put it to the Scientific America, and it's called Living with Fire in Northern California. And I will email it to all of you so you can read it. It's all about Dunsmuir.
Wow, thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, we want to feed the firefighters. We don't want the firefighters to feed us. We want to feed you and give you hugs.
And then one other thing I want to talk about, and again, it's an informative stage, but I know that our community, above and beyond what we've suffered as individuals, I know our businesses have really been hit very hard. I know some of the people, it's been the hardest they've ever been hit, and people are talking about the B word, not sure if they're going to be able to make it. I want to make sure everyone understands that there are SBA loans that you can pursue that can help you get through this time. And if there's anybody out there in a business or another situation that needs some help, reach out, I guess, to City Hall or to myself or to whoever. We'll find a way to help you get in touch with the Chamber, obviously the Chamber, Richard Dennis in the Chamber. So the point is that there are ways to help us get through this financial time, and there is going to be an effort put on to put together some kind of a social media outreach that'll let people know that Dunsmuir's fine, we went through some craziness, but it's beautiful, the leaves are changing, come back up, we miss you, that kind of a campaign. So we're going to be working on that to help all the businesses, and we're not done with the fire yet. I know our TUT and TOT numbers are going to be down. It's going to be challenging for us to have taken a 2-month hit in our revenue flow. So from that standpoint, we have work to do, but I feel comfortable that we'll get through this and onward and upward. Thank you. With that in mind, next on the agenda, we have the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we adopt the consent agenda.
Been second? Second, moved and seconded. Was that, I think it was Mari that got it. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It passes. Okay, next, no public hearing, no old business, new business. Airbnb collection agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. So before you tonight is an application where we're asking authorization of the full council to allow the city mayor to enter into an agreement with Airbnb and Company. Essentially, the agreement will allow Airbnb to collect the taxes, the TOT taxes, and the Siskiyou County Tourism Improvement District assessment as well, and then pass those fees on to us. Back in September 21st, 2017, the council gave direction for staff to look into the issue and to also take it to the planning commission, which was done. We had, Julie did a substantial amount of work along with other city hall staff. And it was difficult to identify exactly how many residents out there are using an Airbnb type of activity. There's more than just one. So Airbnb is the largest one. You can go on there and you'll see on a map the listings of the places that are up for occupancy, but it's dependent on the days that you choose, so it can change from day to day when it's available, when it's not, so it's kind of a moving target. But the one thing we do know is that we don't collect all of the TOT that is generated from Airbnb and the other sites as well. So this is a mechanism that Airbnb has and has worked with other municipalities and governments. The city of Wairika was instrumental, I believe, Julie. Is that where you worked with Wairika to get them? Siskiyou County. They provided a lot of information for the city. We have the application that's a part of the package that we're asking for the mayor to be able to sign. And we've had our city attorney look it over, made a few minor adjustments, and we feel that it's ready to go. Haven't been successful at reaching anybody in the past week. We've sent out some emails, but we do want to keep this thing moving forward and get, if approved, send it off to Airbnb. And if there's any issues, we'll hear about it when it gets there.
As I understand it, just so everyone does too, that the way this will work is it doesn't take any money out of the pockets of the individuals who are renting the Airbnb out. And it simply then will make sure that anytime anybody visits and does Airbnb here in town, that they'll automatically send eventually the money to us for our TOT. Is that right?
It'll be automatic if somebody makes a reservation through Airbnb. As part of that reservation, it will be the TOT collection as well. And it's a level playing field for the other places that do provide these types of services as well.
Okay. Question, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
So just a quick overview. We've been having a problem with the owners say that the tenants want to pay and the tenants say that the owners are supposed to pay and the city ain't getting any money. So Airbnb is offering to get us all our TOTs on every deal, and there's no fee involved.
Correct.
This is just a way they're trying to substantiate their business. Is that my understanding?
Correct.
What's the issue?
What's a voluntary about it? Why is it called a voluntary collection agreement?
Good question. I can make an assumption that they don't have to do it, but if we have a contract, they will. That's a good question that I don't know the answer for.
Who would know?
Possibly John Kenny, or we could contact Siskiyou County and see if they can provide. They have this agreement in place already.
Siskiyou County has this one. And they have voluntary collection on theirs?
This is pretty much exactly what we got from them.
So it's just a way of guaranteeing our money.
Can I ask another question?
Sure, definitely. Go ahead.
I know quite a few of the Airbnbs in town, and not all of them even have bothered to get licenses from the city.
Yeah, that'll be part of this as well, where we can, and Julie, you might be able to answer this, about the business licensing as part of this?
My understanding in reading an article that we received at the city was that's part of what Airbnb does, is notifies us of the owners and their contact information so we can request a business license.
So a win-win-win then, huh?
Yeah, and I would like to note as well, I meant to say it earlier, Julie did 90% of this work that you're looking at today, so I really want to thank Julie.
Thank you.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
Well, Airbnb is the biggest one, but in Dunsmuir, it seems that the VRBO?
VRBO.
Right, I always get that. Do we have any plans on doing anything like that? Because I know a few that do it that way instead of Airbnb.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a service that they offer. We can look into it, but this is Airbnb's the only one I've heard of that provides a
Right.
service.
I'm just suggesting that we look into it because in Dunsmuir, it seems that quite a few use that. They do it on their own to be able to bypass a few new legalities. So,
Cool. Okay, I'll open the podium to public comment on Airbnb. And now I will close the podium to public comment. Any comments from council members?
No? I move to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Airbnb Inc. to facilitate the reporting, collection, and remittance of applicable transit occupancy taxes and the Siskiyou County Tourism Improvement District assessment for accommodation booked through their services in the city of Dunsmuir.
Do I hear a second? I have a second. All in favor say, no money. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. It's
Mayor,
unanimous.
Before we move on, it'd be good to take a second to perhaps, so this money will be collected in the same way, well, not in the same way that we get it from the county right now, right? This money will come from Airbnb, right?
Right, and it would be the 10% for the city plus the 2% that goes to.
Right. I'm just saying that will it be easy for our finance director to, I don't know if it's just running a report or basically figuring out, to just, not to earmark it, but to label it so that we can show how much came in from Airbnb, because it'll be coming in from a separate source, so you should be able to track that.
My understanding is that the Airbnb will be collecting it and doing the reporting as well and submitting it quarterly to the county, so we can get those reports. And we don't know when this will go into effect. So I was looking at doing, what's the impact until we know when this actually will go into effect. And how many people are on there. We'll probably need to see what will come in before we can understand the true impact.
I was just going to make the suggestion that in a year or so, or in 6 months or something, we should have, maybe ask for a report to see what's come in from Airbnb specifically, and maybe at that time reconstitute the effort to see if we can get the same agreement with the other services as well. There's more than just VRBO. There's Home Away and Homestay, and there's a few others. But my understanding is that it's by law they have to. I mean, the TOT is state law, so it should be. I think everybody has to collect that if they're providing this service.
Well, I looked into it early on, and what they said was that Airbnb had worked out contracts with and agreements with various entities, and one of the entities is the state of California. And so
to be exempt from it?
No, to be part of it. In other words, they've said, okay, we're going to accept municipalities from inside California, and so that's why we're able to do this.
Right.
And so the one thing I have heard, though, from a reality check standpoint, is that they may not be as good about turning in the money as they should on time. So there may be some hassles with that. We'll want to keep an eye out for that down the line. But that was just some scuttlebutt when I was doing some research. I found it online, people talking about having trouble getting the money into their pockets, so. Anything else?
So doesn't put us in any better position then.
Well, I know, I'm just saying about this item. Okay, next item, budget amendments, city manager.
Thank you. I'm going to turn the microphone over to our finance director. He'll do a better job at explaining this.
Can I use the computer to look at it? Okay, so you guys have, or honorable members of the council. The first one, I don't know what the first one is the COPS growth. So a budget amendment for COPS growth. We get COPS money each year. They came and told us that there is going to be an increase. So to be able to get that money, we need to amend our budget.
Do you recommend we do that?
I highly recommend that we do this. This is an easy one to do, yes, because it's an increase.
That's our finance director for that.
Yeah. So we are increasing the budget to $148,000 and change. You can see on your packet there. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer. It's going to go right into Deputy Zook's pocket. But.
No, he gets the 54 cents.
Yeah.
But does this just go to the general fund to pay for law enforcement though?
It can be used for law enforcement or like court, something or other, and there's a few other things that we don't have, so we use it for the sheriff's contract.
Okay. Can we use this for temporary dog service?
Not from what I can tell.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Right. It's mainly for the sheriff, police, and again, like the court system, jail. I think a jail, you can use it for a jail if you want to.
No,
but we don't have those. So
well, but we
do have a sheriff's department.
We can use the $23,000 that we were going to spend on the sheriff's contract that we don't have to now spend because we have this to use that for whatever the city wants because it's the general fund. So yeah.
All right. Any other questions from council members? I'll open the podium for public comment.
Are we doing both transfers or just one at a time?
Just one at a time.
Yeah, just one at a time, I guess. One at a time.
And did you have anything you wanted to say, Deputy, about this? Just give you the opportunity, you don't have to, that's fine.
Well, I was curious, you said it was gonna go up to a certain dollar amount. From what dollar amount though?
So we originally budgeted $100,000. We changed it to $125,000. And then now it's coming in at $148,000.
Okay.
And a bit.
Okay, any questions or comments from the council, or do I hear a motion?
And then if you're using if you're looking at the paper packet, the budget amendment came out a little funky. So if you're really looking at it and studying it, the last 3 digits or 2 digits are missing.
They're kind of more than wonky.
Okay, they're more than wonky.
Is there just one budget amendment that we're doing?
There's 2.
Well, there's 2, but we don't
one,
have a staff report on it.
currently 1.
We're not going to do anything in the borrowing plan?
Okay.
That's next.
I think I'm missing this.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion on receiving the COPS money.
Okay, I'll make a motion on receiving the COPS money.
Is that what we're going to have as our motion?
I second that motion.
Okay.
I don't think I included it.
Is that a good enough motion? Roll call vote. You can work it? Okay, roll call vote, please, Ms. City Clerk.
We're not spending money, we're receiving.
Oh, we're receiving it?
money.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you. This next one is a little bit difficult to swallow. So we are going to, the next one is a budget amendment for building rentals.
How come we don't have a staff report in there?
I'll answer that. So this is something that I was working on, and in my budget amendment request when I was filling it out, we had the privilege of having our auditor here on site, and we had a little bit of a difference of opinion on how is the best way to receive and amend the budget for the contractual monies that were received this fiscal year. So we received monies from the prior leaseholder of the water bottling facility in this fiscal year. So we received monies in July, which began this current budget year. But because of the type of system that we have, which is accrual financing, we invoiced them in the prior year. So even though we received them this year, we're going to book them to last year. I was looking to receive the money in this fiscal year as a surplus, but the auditors, what he's saying is one of the best practices for this type of accounting is to, since it's accrual accounting, was to book it into prior years. So the surplus is going to be in last year, but we're going to have a deficit this year. So my goal was to not have a deficit this year, but the bottom line is the fund balance is going to be the same. It's just the way that it's booked into the accounting software.
You can't carry over.
So, wait a second, let me get this straight. So 58,000, we're going to show 58,000 is a deficit this year?
So the 58,000 there is a reduction of the original budget. So you guys approved the budget at 132,000, or I forget what it was. I have it right here. So in any case, it's going down to about 28-ish thousand, 29,000. So that's the budget. Well, that's just for the
original was
revenue.
87,000.
Is that right?
Yeah, so the budget, we were assuming based on last year's revenue for the building lease and rentals for the water bottling facility was 87,000 and some change. We only received this year, I think it was $27,000. 28,000, yeah. So that's what we're receiving. I was looking at the other money that we received this year to go in there and it actually be a surplus. But it's still the fund, the general fund, bottom line number is going to be the same, but it's how it's reported.
So let me see if I get this right. So what we're saying is the money that came in, instead of going in this year and having us have a surplus this year, it's going in last year. We ended up not being in deficit last year, and now we're going to be in the deficit this coming year that we would have been before. Is that right? That's correct.
So how much are we going to be in deficit this year?
28.
No more.
58,776.
It's $78,776 would be the deficit. Also, as part of the leases, I'm looking at, as part of the lease agreement, there's a $20,000 line item in there for building repairs. It's likely going to be less than that, but we need to at least put in there what we agreed in the lease. So that's an additional amount that. So we have the revenue reduction and the increase to building maintenance and grounds for the bottling facility of $20,000, which makes the deficit $78,776.
And not deficit, just a reduction.
Reduction.
A reduction of the original budget.
Okay. Any other questions?
I don't know how to ask the question yet. How is it going to impact?
Because of the funds that came in that were not, we were not anticipating, the surplus from last year is going to be substantial, so we're going to be fine.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is there no way to just carry over the surplus from that last year so that it doesn't show as a reduction this year?
That was my other option, was to...
But even receiving it last year, can you not receive it last year and then actually just take money from the surplus as an injection into this year's budget?
Yes, in essence, that's exactly what would happen.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
But it's just not showing.
We have to show the budget, because the budget's not going to get up to what our original budget is.
So instead of coming from...
So you're not asking us to approve a deficit budget, you're asking us to reduce the budget by $78,000.
I'm not even sure what it is you're asking us to do since there's no staff report.
Yeah, and this...
Reduction of the budget.
Yeah, and the auditor was here on Monday, so I was working on the staff report and the budget amendment, this request when this all came into debate. And it was something I didn't want to hold on. I thought it'd be best to bring it to the city council tonight. And the auditor said he'd come to a council meeting to assist in answering this question, but he couldn't make it tonight.
What are you asking us?
You
explained the numbers here,
yes.
but what are you asking us?
To authorize a budget amendment of reducing the reserve amount of $58,776 in the budget and to increase the expenditure in the general fund for maintenance, building, and grounds, $20,000.
Do you want to?
The 58,776 is going to come out of reserves?
The revenue, in the budget, the revenues anticipated to come in will be reduced. We're asking to reduce the anticipated revenues by the amount shown.
I make a motion to approve the budget amendment.
I want to make sure you
I'm not
understand.
sure I really
Is there any reason we wouldn't want to table it? So she has to digest it.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I don't believe we've had public comment yet.
Okay.
So let's make sure we do that before we have any motions.
Right, I know.
So we're just asking to reduce the budget by,
Right, 58,000.
we're asking to reduce that budget by.
Right, but that means that, but this budget is already been accounted for, and you're asking really is to go into reserves, but
That's
not
right.
really because we have a surplus from last year.
It'll have to come out of reserves, correct?
But this is actually going to come out of reserves.
Yes, the cost. So,
Mr. Mayor,
Well,
may I?
maybe, it may not shake out.
She's close, hold on.
I mean, you still gotta wait for the rest of the year to happen. So it may not come out of reserves.
Right, but
We're just
right
not
now,
gonna shake out.
but right now it's coming out of reserves.
If we don't get funds to cover the rest of it down the line, right?
But it may not be
All
to
else
because,
being equal, this will come out of reserves.
all else being equal, this will come out of reserves.
Because the
So
fiscal year is
where all the
over.
surplus that we're taking in, we have to take in from last year.
yeah, that's correct. So the net effect,
So did that surplus go into reserves?
yes,
Yeah.
it's a
So
surplus.
it's going into reserves
And
now,
we're
we're
taking it right back
drawing from it. Okay, but that's where the surplus went, is into reserves.
Correct.
For last year.
Okay, I understand, all right.
I'll open the podium to public comment. No public comment, I'll close the podium. Any comments? Mr. Craig, you were itching there?
No, I wanted to just,
Make sure you got it.
make sure I understood what the conclusion that Marty just came to as well, so.
Thank you for working through that. You did a good job there.
Thank you.
Helped us too.
Are we ready for a motion? I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendments.
Well, did we
However
already
you
vote?
want to word it, because.
Hold on.
That's the word.
We already voted on the first budget amendment, correct?
No. Well,
Yes.
Yes.
So can you just give us the totals again so that we can include them in?
Well, there's really two. One
I know.
is,
I would authorize, motion to authorize the mayor to sign the budget amendment form as presented, to amend or to reduce the revenue in the general fund budget by $58,776 and to increase the expenditure in the general fund maintenance, buildings and grounds by $20,000.
So moved.
seconded.
This is going to have to be a roll call.
Yeah, this is.
That was very well put, Bryce.
Thank you.
her head's smoking over there, but she got it.
Councilmember Shonda?
Aye.
Councilmember Presley?
Aye.
Councilmember Strella?
Aye.
Councilmember Craig?
Aye.
And Mayor Rich?
Aye. It's unanimous. Do we have any other discussions before we consider adjourning? Anything for next time around?
I just have one thing to say, which is that in the future, I will try to talk to people who I want to take over committee assignments to them before putting them on the spot like I did tonight.
Wouldn't that be nice, Blake?
I nominate Blake.
Anyway.
I will say that it's coming up, it's not that far, but It's been a pleasure to be in the ring with you guys.
Likewise.
And you guys have made an awesome contribution.
That's the word, yeah, she had.
I was thinking of a better word than contribution.
And we're not even talking about Ms. Shanta leaving, because she'll be back.
Yeah, she's not going nowhere.
I'm hoping to not go anywhere, but it's been a pleasure. And Ellen,
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
See you at the football game tomorrow night.